start with the opening statement from head coach Jenny Boggess. Coach.
It's great to have these two. What a game! I thought yesterday we came out and hit first. I thought today Ball State was the tougher team for the first 4 or 6 minutes. Salenbach comes down and is ripping threes, Caitlin Clark style. I said, oh no, is it going to be one of those days? So we gathered ourselves, we took a deep breath, and Pat was refused to lose there at the end of that second quarter, and we come in with the lead. And it was a dogfight. And old school, we talked about Pat Summitt before the game. Rebounding will win a championship. And I can't believe we out-rebounded them. And it was a group effort by committee, and I think that was probably the difference for us today.
First of all, congrats on making it to the championship. You guys took the lead in the second quarter and never really looked back. What does this say about the resilience of your guys' team?
Yeah, I think we just really wanted it for each other. And I think our grit and tenacity, we just valued every possession. I think that was a big thing.
13 turnovers.
Well,
no, that was rare. That's rare. It's good. It was good. Anyway, okay, P, sorry.
18 on the game.
Last time we played Ball State at home, I think we scored 34 points in the fourth quarter. Coach G, correct me if I'm wrong.
32
points in the fourth quarter. So, we got in a little bit of a hole, but we knew we could always fight back, and we had more than enough time. So.
Front right.
Ryan, I was thinking about competition. Coach talked about the second quarter, but fourth quarter, they draw back to within one after that media timeout on the end one. Walk me through the layup. What was the degree of difficulty, and how important was that possession for you guys there to get that back up to 3?
I remember which layup.
That was the left one.
I feel like I had to step on her, and I think I'm great at changing direction, and they've been cutting off my right a little bit, so I just had to use my left hand. God gave it to me, so I used it.
How rare is that?
A little rare, a little bit.
We've been working on P's finishing. We're really fortunate that she chose Toledo, and that was one of the things we talked about. She's gonna go be a pro next year and getting that finishing package around the rim. And Weave's been in the gym working on her 3-ball, and these wins are obviously very rewarding, and that's why we're here. But to see their individual growth and the work that they've put in, that's why we do what we do.
Questions for student athletes in the middle.
I'm a fine Toledo Blade Pat. Coach mentioned before your just refuse to lose attitude. Season high 29 points. How much more motivation did you have coming into this game, knowing it could be the last game of your college career, and now that you've won this game, how excited are you to be playing for a conference championship?
It was a lot of motivation. I'm new to the conference. There's a rivalry between Ball State and Toledo, so I'm just feeding off what my teammates give me, and I always want to play hard for them. So it was just great, and I'm very excited for tomorrow.
Questions for student athletes? Back right, far back right.
Yeah, Tyler Seger, WTO Weldon, Toledo. For both of you guys, this was a goal, before the season started to fulfill that aspiration and knowing that you're going to play for a championship tomorrow. Just kind of what's the emotion going through your head knowing that you have one more game to play?
Job's not finished.
Job's not finished. Yeah, it's been a season of ups and downs. I think we've had highs and lows, plenty of them. Lows are low. But I think just sticking together is the biggest thing. And so I think the lows and the bit of a roller coaster that we've had all season has made this moment even more special.
Middle right.
John Suchan, Harvard Northeast Ohio Sports Insiders. The energy you guys had in that to close out the first half, I know it was mentioned earlier, but just to see that from the bench, to see the players, what was that like for you, especially if you were when you were in the game? Because you guys were down, 11, and you took the lead right at the end of the half. What was that like for you?
It's great. Even the ones that are not playing with us right now, they're every much a part of the game as the people on the court. So them having energy on the bench just give everybody in the game a little bit more juice, and it helped us a lot. And we're very grateful for all of our teammates.
Yeah, I think we feed off each other really well. We don't want to let each other down.
Front right.
Trisha, you stepped to the line there with about 7 seconds to go. What was your feel? What did you feel at the free throw line there? Because it looked like just a normal free throw, like in game 15 in the middle of the third quarter for you.
I felt like I'm gonna knock these down and go to the championship.
Period.
That's what I felt like.
Yeah, middle.
Yeah, Ella, I mean, you made some big shots in the fourth quarter, and you guys were up by 2. Ball State, obviously the best 3-point shooting team with MAC. I mean, they were making some runs. How did you guys as a team just stay composed? How were you guys able to do that?
Yeah, we said before the game that it was going to be a game of runs. They're a very high-powered offensive team, so respect where respect is due. But coming in, we knew that we just had to withstand runs both ways and not get too high, not get too low, but stay together and stay composed.
Any more questions for student athletes? All right, thank you guys.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, guys.
Questions? Coach August, far right.
Noel Lamel, WTO 11. Coach, just the other day, you were giving great credit to Ball State. Said maybe you don't know if, even though you believe in the team, don't know if you can hold them to 65 points. You guys did exactly that. Did you prove any things to yourself today, and how were you able to sustain that belief through the very end?
I think we proved that, I gave the team a quote before the last game, and it said, the universe is giving you an opportunity to practice who you say you are. And we've said that we're the most confident, connected, competitive team all year. And so we got a chance to prove that. We've wanted to be the best rebounding team in the league all year, and we got a chance to practice that yesterday and today. And I have a feeling we're going to have another chance to practice tomorrow. But I have so much fun working with these kids, even with the young ladies. The adversity that we faced this year, there was never a day I didn't want to go to work. There was never a day I didn't want to show up for them. So I think they're just proving that they're worth it, and it's worth it. And we have the right people in that locker room. And even though we're 2 men down, Faith Flood Robinson's in surgery right now. She's going to wake up to a dub, which is amazing. It just proves that we have all that we need, and that when you put your heart into it and you play for each other, really good things happen.
Front left.
Coach, Miriam Diallo today made her impact well known from the beginning of this game. Can you just speak on her play today, maybe the mindset she had going into this game?
Well, I can tell you that she was not happy that Towers went for 22 and 12 at Toledo. And, that's a competitor and a high-level player that's a starter for the German U20 national team. She's a really good defender. When I was overseas, I got to see her play in Portugal against a 6'6" center. And she's a competitor. And she's a quiet one. That's about as excited as Pat gets. Miriam's the same. And I knew she was going to show up today ready to go. And, her team was helping on the boards. We kept her off the offensive boards. We needed our guards to get in there and get involved, and they did today without giving up ORB threes. I thought that was huge for us.
Back left.
Patricia Numa had 29 points today. How crucial was her performance, at the beginning of the game when she ran off with 21 points in the first half, and then towards the end down the stretch?
I mean, game changer. And we have a really good relationship. We have a lot of history, and I can tell her the truth. And the truth is, if you shoot 9 shots today, we're going to lose. And we knew that we needed the ball in her hands. I mean, the math. Do the math. We needed her to be a willing and able scorer. She's always a willing and able defender, but we needed her and Kendall Carruthers to show up today, and we're going to need them again tomorrow.
Middle.
Yeah, I mean, you said on Wednesday one of the keys to winning this game was handling Ball State's size. I mean, you said already that you were impressed with your team being able to out-rebound them, but can you just kind of expand more on that and how proud you are of your team being able to, handle their size much better than they were against Ball State at home?
Yeah, I mean, again, like I said, check your identity a little bit. Check your toughness. You do not casually stroll into the championship game feeling good. Right, it's going to be tough. It's going to be bloody. It's going to be gritty. It's going to be, at times there was some violent collisions out there. It's going to be hard, and we knew, those transfer kids and then the veterans for Ball State, they didn't want to go home either, So we knew we were going to have to execute. We knew rebounding was going to be a big thing. I mean, we joke all the time about the math. The way that we turn it over is a liability, so we have to limit them to one and done. If we're going to give them extra possessions playing with pace, then we've got to secure the boards. I don't think it's necessarily a sophisticated philosophy, but rebounding wins championships.
Far back middle.
Yeah, Ella talked about the journey you guys have been on this year. It's not been easy, obviously, but the grit, the toughness. I mean, you mentioned Faith not even being here. I mean, just how does that kind of not satisfy you more, but just kind of further prove what this team's about?
I mean, when we're going through this process of whether you want to call it a rebuild or not, like Toledo should never be rebuilding. I understand the expectations of the program and the history and what Trisha built and all of the fun things. But we lost 6 seniors last year to graduation. And so when you're choosing, who you want to stay and who you want to bring into your program, they have to be young ladies that represent what matters to Toledo first and foremost, but to me and to our staff. And I think all of these ladies, they uphold the Toledo standard, the Toledo way, and you think you're getting it right when you pick them, right? But I just couldn't be more proud of them and how they've come together. And that adversity, it hasn't, all the sports quotes, bring out the sports book, but it hasn't really built us. It's revealed, who we are, and just seeing them come together and celebrate one another has been really, really fun.
Far back left.
Yeah, Alonso, BCSN. Holding Ball State to 65 points, something you said you didn't think the team could do. I know that it may have not been surprising, but what did the team show more defense that maybe it didn't in the other games this season?
I mean, again, we started out slow. So I think our response to that first hit was the biggest thing. We could have folded it. We looked winded. We kind of looked on our heels. And that's when you got to really take a gut check and look in the mirror. But again, our toughness, our togetherness. We got 3 quick subs in and gave everybody a blow. You just got to keep playing.
And against Central, going into the fourth quarter, you guys had a 7-point lead. You blew that lead after you
Easy.
maybe sounded as dejected as you've ever sounded. But to go from that and the injuries were piling up to now, just for you personally, I know you're all about the team, but for you personally, how satisfying is this moment?
I'm giving you a hard time. I think a lot of people know that these players, and it's this rev share era, all this stuff. A lot of people complain about, this, these are still young people, and there is this overwhelming sense of them not wanting to let each other down and let us down. I don't think anybody realizes how much I don't want to let them down. And so the frustration after Central was with myself. And so, you gotta pick bootstraps up, you gotta get them ready, you gotta get them confident. And so any frustration I felt this year was with myself not being able to find solutions, give them answers that they need to be successful. And I've said it publicly, but one of my mentors told me that, in that frustration, that I might need to reestablish my expectations. The expectations aren't changing. And we're going to fight, and we're going to fight with everybody that we have healthy, and my responsibility is put a championship product out there to go fight for it.
And I know you guys got one more game. Final question, sorry. I know you guys got one more game, but where does this win rank among the other ones in the past few?
Job's not finished.
Far right.
Ginny, we've seen some pretty extraordinary examples in sports history where a team rises to the moment when maybe injuries kind of have people counting them out. We know how fantastic the players that aren't here are, but do you think in a backwards way, just kind of the extraordinary adversity has kind of brought out the best of this team? Maybe not talent-wise, but just playing hard and together and just kind of wanted to prove everyone wrong? No question. And you've got Kaden Staxer and Ella Weaver that have won regular season championships, and Pat's won a regular season championship at Towson. They know what it takes. They know what next woman up means, and they were leaning into it. And as a staff, we tried to find the positives. What's a positive for Faith and Ella switching roles, maybe. Obviously, Ella was coming in playing really well, but now we've got more space for Pat and Casey with another shooter on the floor. Losing Eva's size really has hurt us, and then it's like, okay, next man up, we'll play small. But it's just been really fun too, and I'd be really remiss if I didn't give my staff a tremendous amount of credit for their preparation. We're a man down there as well, a woman down, and they've just every day shown up, ready to go across the board. Our GAs, our Dobo, everybody has been phenomenal this year, and a lot of credit goes to them for getting in the gym with these kids and making them better and getting a game plan together that we can go execute. And yeah, it's been really fun.
I got time for a couple more, right middle.
You're Miami to play tomorrow. What's your message to your team tonight and getting ready for the big game?
Yeah, I mean, rest. Hydrate or dihydrate. Fuel your body. Rest your mind. They've trusted us with the game plan all year, and we'll have that ready for them. But my message to them is what it's been from our first day in July all the way through. We have everything we need right now in this room. and it's going to take all we have. But we have everything that we need. They know it's going to be hard. We don't want it to be easy. We just want, we talk about all the time, the faith in the locker room and things like that with being able to rise up to the challenge. And they've done that time and time again, and I know that we'll be ready to do that tomorrow.
Okay, last week, ready back here?
A lot of calls went your way tonight, but a lot of calls also didn't go your way. How do you keep yourself and your team composed in tough situations like that?
I would give myself a C- on that today. It's my fault though. I didn't work out this morning, so I was a little extra tight. No, but Brady and I were chirping a little bit. I apologize to him, and it's just mutual respect. Yeah, he is a tremendous coach. That is a fantastic program. It's no wonder they're just every year at the top. But I try to, what's important now, and I think I read a quote from Shaka the other day. I've got Marquette history in my background, but he said something to the effect of, I don't always know what the players need, but what they don't need is a frustrated head coach. And so I tried to gather myself going in at halftime today and not be frustrated. I was like, the staff kept saying, we are up. So, but I'm a competitor too. So just what's important now, try to be what the team needs when they need it and try to find solutions. Stay solutions based and not be whining and fussing at the refs.
Last two far left.
Big game tomorrow against Miami. What is your message to the Toledo faithful who may have traveled here today or will travel tomorrow, or even the ones at home?
Well, first and foremost, thank you. I think we had 5,100 on senior day, and we're 9-8. Going into that game in the league, we have an incredible fan base, and they've shown up for us all year. Their loyalty, their understanding and maturity of the game is elite, and we are going to need every single one of them. And they've shown up all year, so I know they'll show up tomorrow. I look forward to walking out and hearing them giving our team all the glory and all the energy and juice that they possibly can.
Last one left middle.
Kyle Sub, Ball State Daily News. You guys held Grace Kingery to 1-3. I guess going into this game, especially the success that she had last game against Bowling Green, how much of it was an emphasis to draw her off the defense?
Well, yeah, we wanted to run her off, and again, we're lacking some size to be able to do that. So we had to get some physicality. I thought they did a great job at our place of getting to that dribble drive and throwing those back doors and getting those slice cuts and those curl cuts. Kingery and I call her Tiger, number 24, because I think she's just an absolutely great player. So Kingery and Tiger were slipping us and curling us and backdooring us, and so it was an emphasis today for sure. And then we let Bree get loose. Again, if they made 11 threes today, yeah, it's a double-digit loss. We knew we had to run them off the line. Math. We just don't score at that volume with the depletion of our roster and some of the things that we have, and so we knew we needed to get stops.
Patricia, you got any questions for Coach?
She's getting receipts back there. She's taking notes.
All right. Thank you, Coach. Appreciate it.
Yeah, clearly tough. Tough one today. It's there's teams that come up here and because of the season they've had, they expect to be here and have a real chance to win it. And there's 8 teams that come up here that are hoping. We had the year that we knew we were good enough, and we are good enough to be the last team standing up here. We just weren't today. You give Toledo a ton of credit for that. I'm going to call her number 8 because I don't want to disrespect her by pronouncing her name wrong. But I think they called her Pat maybe. Man, she was really good today. And made some big-time buckets for them. This one was unbelievable today. We rode her. We felt like we were getting some really good looks. We missed some layups we usually don't. But sometimes that's what this time of year does to you a little bit. And, as gutted as we are, as disappointed as I am for them, man, I love this basketball team. And, it's been a heck of a year. I think we got some more basketball in front of us. I hope we do. But tough one nonetheless.
Questions for student athletes front right?
Yeah, Kate Hampton with the Muncie Star Press. You guys had 2 rock fights with Toledo earlier in the year and came out on top in both of those. What do you think was kind of the difference today that allowed them to just hold you guys off?
Like he said, some of the shots we normally make weren't really going in today. That's no excuse. They played a great game, but I mean, yeah, wish we could have that one back for sure.
Middle. Do you have your hand up?
Oh, no.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, front right.
Yeah, Kyle South, Ball State Daily News. I guess whenever you guys took a 10-point lead early, and then Toledo went on that 11-0 run to end the half, from that point on, you guys weren't able to get over the hump. Why do you think that is?
Josh, want to take that?
Yeah, it's a great question.
Turnovers, man. I think I had a few in a row, and that really got the momentum switching, I think. So.
But I think we came back every time. I mean, it's not like they were ever blowing us out. We were right there. We were still fighting.
Questions for student athletes?
I guess for both of you guys coming in, your first season with this program as really the only 2 transfers on this roster from the portal. I mean, what has it been like just, learning this culture, learning this program, and having the level of season that you had despite the disappointing finish?
Hopefully we have some more basketball to play, like you said. But I could not be more grateful for the time that I've had. I'm going to start crying. But thank you, this guy right here. I wish I had more time with them. And
we do too.
Just to be able to accomplish what we did in such a short amount of time, that's what we just keep saying. To do what we did, I mean, not a lot of people do that. And that's pretty remarkable, pretty amazing. These girls are great, and I really do wish I had more time with them. So.
I think that's what you can't forget about, too, is I don't think anybody expected us to be where we are now. And I think that's something that's been really cool is, yeah, we have a great group of girls, and, like, we just bonded and did kind of what nobody else thought we would. And it might have not ended the way that we wanted to, but I can say we'll be back next year. And we're really going to freaking miss Bree.
Yeah, I guess from that final buzzer to the locker room, what has been the message to each other to stay together?
I'm just excited for their future. I mean, hopefully all of them come back. I mean, they've built something really special here, and I think they got some big things coming for them. And big picture, we talked about the big picture. Yeah, it sucks right now, but they've got a lot ahead of them, so it's exciting.
I think not forgetting, again, like what we've done. We've had a great season. It just didn't end the way we wanted it to. And we still have basketball to play more than likely. So flip the script and keep going.
Middle right.
John Suchan from the Northeast Ohio Sports Insiders. I mean, you've already kind of talked on it, but your program has been so consistent, and you have a lot of new players this year. What do you think is you're looking forward to the next games, hopefully you get that chance. I know some of you won't be returning, but how do you maintain that as a team, as teammates? How do you keep going after a moment like this?
I think that's a part of our culture. I can say, especially coming from another school and being here, like, it's a great culture. And I think that kind of just goes into that. We have a great group of girls, and everybody's hugging on each other in the locker room. Like, we're not pointing fingers. Like, we lost that together, and we're going to go win together. So.
Questions for student athletes?
I'd have one more thing. You mentioned the locker room. I know how much fun, seeing on social media how much fun you guys like to have in there and whatnot. So just for Bree, how much are you going to miss that aspect of this team, that togetherness?
Oh, goodness. You're actually going to make me cry. I don't want to cry up here. I just am so, I'll just keep saying it. I'm so grateful. I'm so blessed. Thank you, Lord, for everything that has brought me here today. I think I was talking to you the other day, if you would have told me I'm where I'm at a couple years ago or a year ago, I wouldn't have believed you. And I'm just so grateful for Coach right here. It's amazing what he's done for this program and what he'll continue to do. The culture is amazing. The people are amazing. And it's a winning program, and that's what we do here. So didn't come out our way today, but keep going.
Any more questions? Student athletes? All right, thank you guys. Appreciate it.
Thanks, guys.
Good job.
guys kind of just same place we started with them. What do you think it was that Toledo did that just kind of prevented you guys from getting over the hump and reclaiming that lead in the second half?
You know, it was, you called the game right. I don't know that the first two were really rock fights. You know, I mean, they were close-ish when we played them. This was a rock fight, you know, and you know, it just, man, it seemed like just, you know, whether it was a break or whether it was, you know, a shot bouncing off the rim 32 times, going straight up in there and going in, like, you know, like I've been doing this long enough. Sometimes you're like, I mean, it felt like they were getting them all. You know, the disparity in free throws. You know, like it just like, and they created a lot of those, like momentum type situations. So, you know, in a game like that, it rarely comes down to a play or, you know, any of that stuff. It you know, can you come up with that loose ball, or can you take that big charge, or can you get that shot that rolls around that looks like it has no chance to go in that does. And you know, you scratch your head and you're like, why us? You know, but it's sport, man. It's, you know, it's the beauty of what this time of year is. You know, and sometimes you come up here and you're the hammer, and sometimes you come up here and you're the nail. You know, and everybody remembers, right, when it goes your way. But it takes all of this to, you know, build teams that can come up here and can win 3 games in 4 days. And, you know, so I don't know that I can point to one particular thing to give you a good soundbite right there. But, you know, I'd say that, you know, Toledo found a way to be different, and they found it through toughness. They played through number 8, and it was a recipe for them to be successful today.
Right, Biddle.
You've mentioned to me before, like, this has been kind of a reboot of a season, and
Mhm.
looking forward to all, you know, what you've already accomplished this
Yeah.
year. You played Toledo last year in the championship.
Mhm.
The coach for Toledo really gave you lots of props when they were in here just earlier, talking about your program. You just talked about toughness. How do you maintain that yourself as a coach and leading your players, because you have been able to maintain such a quality program?
Yeah, thanks. You know, we do take a lot of pride in the program, not just a season, right? So it starts with, I think, one of the best associate head coaches in the business, and Audrey Spencer, who is the reason that the majority of these players are here. I've got a great staff that, you know, we talk all the time about what a Brady kid is, right? And, you know, it's not about me, but it's about who can be successful in our culture with what we demand. And you know, it's no secret sauce. It's nothing crazy that way. But, you know, when you find a fit with a coach and a group of players, then you can be successful, you know. And so early probably in my career, I made some mistakes because, man, you know, this kid has these numbers, or man, she can do this or that. You know, now we're a little bit more honed in on the kids that we think can help us be successful. And you just saw, you just saw 2 of them like at a high level just now. You know, and not because they were saying nice things about me. That helps. But I mean, are you kidding me with this kid? Like how she fell into our lap is, I mean, it's crazy. It's a big reason why we're sitting here, you know, 26-7. You know, Carson, we knew a little bit more, but man, I've just got a locker room full of those types of kids, and those types of kids seem to find us now. So that's a big part of it. But you know, I'm going to keep talking just a little bit, but you know, everybody wanted really bad to call after last year to call this a rebuild because of what we had lost, and I wouldn't hear it. Was never going to be about it. And one, I knew who we had in our locker room. I knew the talent. I knew all those kind of things. I knew the job ahead of us, and I knew we were capable. So we're never going to shy away from the expectations that we built. We're going to embrace them. We believe that, we're everything that we back it up and show. And so with that comes a really broken-hearted locker room, when you expect what we expect, but that's sport, right? That's what's the beautiful thing about what we get to do. There's some heartbreaks, but there's a lot of moments and there's a lot of rubbing elbows with studs like I coach, and she used the word blessed, but she's blessed us 20 times over. Trust me when I tell you that, but I got a group of them.
Right. Roger.
Yeah, I guess, kind of just throughout the whole game, it was kind of tough for you guys to get offensive going.
Mm-hmm.
I guess what did Toledo kind of throw at you, especially at the three-point line with Grace not really being able to get going like she has in past games?
Yeah, well, we knew they were going to take Grace out and just really not leave her. I thought, they've kind of done that in both games leading up to it. And in those moments, that opens up post play, that opens up, some stuff, which, it didn't go our way today. But, I don't think we went through that little stretch where we turned it over, where we did make some good decisions on some reads. But other than that, we really didn't turn the ball over. We just missed shots, and God, man, I hate it for them because we've been a shot-making team all year. It, no pun intended, just wasn't in the cards today.
Probably got time for a couple more front middle.
Yeah, obviously pretty frustrating game for Tessa Towers. I know she's kind of been the bread and butter for this offense inside, and Toledo really kind of limited her effectiveness. How much did that kind of change things up or limit the offense?
Well, Tessa's the reason that we have 26 wins, and we expected to come up here and win it. So, Tessa's been great all year, first-team All-League kid. She's had a heck of a year, and we're so proud of her. And certainly, we're thrilled with who she is and where she is and what she's done. So, 18 to 20-year-olds are allowed not to be great all the time. You know what I mean? And we've been a team that hasn't relied on people having to be great to win. Right. And so, it's, again, I keep saying it. It's the thrill of competition, and sometimes, things don't go your way, but in that adversity, who you're going to be. And, I know who my team's going to be. That's a good feeling for me.
Did you have one in the middle? Okay. Last one, right middle.
I just had a quick question.
Yes, sir.
Going back to what you were saying about Towers and stuff. During the game, there was about 7-minute mark. I think both your bigs got into foul. They both had 4. So how did you at that point in the game? What was your how did you feel your strategy, because both were in that trouble?
Yeah, foul trouble didn't help. That's for sure. Again, I would say this, the crew we had, I'd take them in every game for the rest of my career and probably still yell at them, but I'd be happier than a lark. That's a really professional crew. So by no means will anything that I say or have said has any, I said something about the foul disparity. I'm not complaining about it, the officials, because I thought they were tremendous and are tremendous. Right. It's like, holy cow, what else cannot go well? Okay, you're in foul trouble. We're not used to shooting 40%. Some teams would take that and probably do backflips about it. We're not used to that. So it's like, okay, we're just not playing like we're used to. Now, we got to find a way to win still, right? So, we went small a little bit, trying to spell them, but we've just, we put. We rode Alba there a little bit and tried to just get to the finish line with having some fouls left. It certainly was a little bit of an issue for us. There's no doubt.